Hey guys, and how's it going? Hey, for today's video, I think we're going to go play around with this 36 horsepower air-cooled VW engine that I don't even remember where it came from. Having said that, I do have a use for it if we can get it up and running, but I have no idea what condition it is. It looks like somebody did a painted fan shroud and a painted intake manifold, possibly the covers, and it looks like all that stuff is on a dirty old engine. So it may be a good engine, it may be a crappy engine that somebody put some clean stuff on. Again, I have no history on it. So let's go get it downstairs, get it over to the bench, and start getting into it. See if we can figure out what we got, and if we could bring it back to life. Shouldn't be too heavy. Up on the bench. Get up there. Yeah, definitely everything's kind of like sitting on it. Alright, see if we get some of this stuff off of it. None of it looks like it's attached anyway. Let's go see if we can get a better idea what we got for components. Like I said, it looks like it's a dirty old engine under some clean tins. And another thing, 36 horse, I am not very familiar with. I'm sure I've played with them before in a past life. Because most of the time you go and you deal with stuff that is, you're not going to put a 36 horse in a car. Generally, you go with a larger engine. And so these are the, like the bastard childs. Unless you have something that, you want to try to restore with the correct engine. This one is caught up in the tins. I gotta take a bolt out. Hold on. Instead of bolt, more of a fuel line, kind of a bolt. And it's 12 millimeters instead of 13. So I want to say 36 horse went from 55 to 62-ish, 63, right around there. Then a 40 horse came out after that, I think. It also depends on what it's in, whether it's a bus or not, and what state it went to, what country it went to. All right. Come on. Tins are just sitting here over the jugs. Yeah, look how dirty that is. So it was definitely not a like a rebuilt engine. Somebody just, I said, put some clean tins on it. Let's go pop a valve cover on it. They have a tendency to show what kind of quality the engine is. The bale's rotted out on that side of the head. I do have a backup plan. This engine is toast, but we'll see. Yeah, it's definitely got some hours on it. I wouldn't say she's a spring chicken. Throw that anyway. We'll pop it on there. Yeah. Let's does it have a dipstick? It does. I don't think there's anything in it. It's like there's a little something in it. There's a little something in it. The front pulley, I can see the nut is loose on it. The wavy washer is open. It's got some Earl in it. Let's pop the plugs out of it and put a wrench on it. We'll see if we can turn it. So this engine code for 1958, which is good because the car that I want to put it in is a 1958. So there's that. So we are dealing with something that is what, 68 years old? Is that right? My mouth good? I have a, plugs are all loose, a jig that we can put on it, that we can crank it, we can run it. You know, it doesn't have to be in a car to run it. I have a setup for that. Oh, looking about the same cruddiness. Oh, it's kind of tight. All right. Let's go give a shot of Earl in each cylinder. And I haven't even tried to turn that flywheel yet, but we'll hit it with some fogging oil. It's oil that makes fog. This is just to give it a fighting chance. The only problem is if it is all locked up and you want to look in the cylinder later, you kind of goobered it. Let's just go see. It turned. That feels kind of weird. Definitely a lot of drag. I'm gonna watch the valves. Let's get the pressure plate off of it so I get a big socket on it and try to turn it with a wrench instead of by hand. Yeah, feels a little weird, and it also feels like that weird ass play seems odd. Another thing I noticed, all those exhaust studs are broken off. So whoever took it apart did not know what they were doing. Let's go see if the impact will buzz them out. That's a no. We all the way up. Okay, we grab a wrench and crack them. Definitely been sitting a day or two. A little bit better. Kind of looks fresh, doesn't it? It ain't, but it looks it. So the clutch disc and pressure plate look like they're usable. Again, I don't like the clay that's in it. It just seems like a lot, but it could be just the jugs are causing a problem. Let me get a 36 millimeter socket for the center of it and a big half-inch ratchet. We can kind of turn it over. I may get some wood to wedge underneath the heads too. That's a ratchet. Let's go see how this does for us. It's going pretty even. It's going to green up a little. I'm watching the valves on the other side. All four valves are moving. We made it 360. I'm going to watch this side. Just seems to have a lot of drag on it. And that play back and forth, I don't know if that is like... flywheel's pretty toasted too. The end of the teeth are wore down. So the starter was failing on this. I don't know if you can see it, like especially like right there. The teeth are all beat. And it's back to kind of normal here. Just getting better. I wonder if we could put it in the... Go find my engine stand. That. Because that's almost like a rod. Like nothing should be clunking in there. and it is. I don't know if that's the cam gear and the crank gear, like the play between the cam and the crank, that's extensive. It wouldn't. Let's go see. So end play is the thing. Let me go grab a couple of pry bars. Just walk it forward and back. We'll see how much the crank moves. So in general, they're like, I think the spec is like 3 to 7 thousandths. It shouldn't be much. You would put a dial indicator on it, but like if I put screwdrivers on it right now, and I went and go move it, and it was a clunk back and forth, I would know it would have a ton of play. Right now it doesn't look too bad. Let's continue moving forward. Yeah, I'm gonna look, see if I got the stand. I like to flip it over. I like to take the oil out of it, take a strainer off. Maybe we could look up inside, see if we see any metal debris. Will tell us what's happening. If not, we're gonna continue moving on with, we can spin it up, see if we've got compression, that kind of thing. Here's the bracket for the stand. That's the same for pretty much all Volkswagens. I think in Porsche also, it'll fit. We get that bolted up, we'll pop it over in the stand. We need you on there. May I introduce you to your little friend. Right. Now, wait. You have to go with it. You have to. Defeats the purpose. Crunk, falls on the floor. Let's go spin it around. You get a drain pan because the oil's going to piss out of the valve covers being off. And around we go. Let's eyeball that oil coming out, see if there's any kind of metallics. Its problem is also it's been sitting so long, any little metal debris probably would have settled out of it. I don't see anything right away, which I guess is a good sign. But let's get that strainer off it and get a better look. Going in. A bunch of washers are probably going to fall off. It's okay. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that is supposed to be that sludgy. Not a good sign. We'll put that back where it was. All right. Let's continue to dig. So this is, Volkswagen, this is what is like the oil filter. It's an oil strainer, more of a screen. And it may be different than the later engines, I'm not sure. For some reason right now it looks a little smaller, but it may be just optical illusion. I'm trying not to trash it. Yeah, I can tell by the weight of it. She's definitely goobered up pretty good. So that's going to be the intake for the oil pump. You're able to see right there. And that's really about it. I think you can kind of push it up and look around. Let's go. I don't see anything standing out right away as far as of course there's all the sludge that's in the bottom of the crankcase, there's that. No light's getting us, sorry. So this is how much mud is in it, So she's definitely not a fresh rebuild, we'll call it that. I'm gonna put that strainer, I'm gonna clean that strainer out, we'll put it back together for now. I'll see if the gasket sets the same. Clean all that back up. We'll throw some oil in it set it back up, and we will get a starter mounted on the end of it. We'll try spinning it a little bit and kind of listen to it and see what it does. If it's you know, knocking or whatever, damage has already been done, so we're not going to hurt anything. But let's go see. I'm not condemn it before it's time. All right, here's one for a later. Yeah, just as I thought. That's about 10% smaller. All right, we're going to not damage what's left of those gaskets. I'm going to clean up the sludge on everything in here, though. This one has a gasket on it, too. That thing wouldn't probably even be able to have sucked up any oil. There was so much sludge in the center of it when I went to go pick it up. It wasn't going to draw any oil anyhow. Good thing we took it apart. So normally you put a gasket on one side of the strainer and then the other. You actually, you know, put it on the threads. There's one on there now. There's one there, and there's one there. So there's 3. And somebody siliconed it. It's got silicone kind of coming off of it. There. That's kind of a no-no. You would never do that. So possibly it had some kind of problem. Maybe the problem is they just had 3 gaskets on it. For now, I'm going to leave it alone. Like I said, we're just still doing a assessment on what we have. And it'd have to come apart again anyway, because if it runs, once all that sludge kind of frees itself up, you know, you're going to have to go purge it again. And I'd have to order some correct stuff for it. When you bolt that back up, we'll flip it back down. Actually, probably while it's leaking, there's supposed to be little brass washers that are under these, and there was no washers on it. So it will leak through the threads if you don't have them on there. Again, I'm not worried about it right now. But that's probably why they put the silicone on it. They're trying to figure out why it was leaking. And that's why it was leaking. Says me. Get back up. That don't feel good. I'm gonna leave that alone. Yeah, physics wants to strip out. As you were. Let's just go throw some yard sale something oil in it. Generally, somebody be moving and they got like the old cases of oil they put out. This is what? Racing oil. And we'll make it go faster. We'll dump we'll put 2 quarts in it. A 40 horse and up takes 2.7 quarts. I'm not sure if a 36 has a little bit less or a little bit more of the same, but 2 quarts will be enough to give it oil pressure. So this is a part of a bell housing from a transmission. Let me pop it up there for a second. Maybe get that top bolt out. And this allows us to be able to crank an engine. There's a 6-volt and a 12-volt starter, and a 6-volt and a 12-volt flywheel size. I think it's 180 and 200. I think 180 is the 6-volt, and 200 is the larger. I'm not positive of that, but that's what I think. Anyway, this is going to allow us to spin it, and engine size for 36 horsepower was 1954 to 1960 was the 36 horse. Before that, it was 25 horsepower. It looked very similar to this. And then 40 horse was kind of like its own engine. So it must have been 61 to 64. And then 1500 came along, then a 1600 came along. In Volkswagen, in Beetles. There's those Type 4 bus motors that got bigger. Let me go tighten that down, and we got to try to figure out what we're going to spin that with. Well, for now, we're going to hook it up to 12 volts and spin it. We're not using, we don't have spark or anything in play. So the way this is going to work is ground, of course, is ground. Let's go ground it on something. How about that? And then hot on a starter. This would be this would come directly from your battery, this post. And this connects a circuit to make power go out on this lead through this little wire. So if you put power to there, jumper pack's on, nothing's happening. But if we jump these 2, it should spin. And I'm going to do it on a button so I can control it a little bit. So get one end on there. see what we get. Oh, jumper pack's not on. Now it is. Alright. I'm not sure how well that flywheel's going to hold up. It's got screwy teeth. Got redneck teeth. Let's go see. I think our jumper pack needs to be charged up. Doesn't sound like it's clunking at all. Let's go hit it again. Yeah. All right, let me go get a better power source. Throw that on a charger. Yeah, I forgot I used that jumper pack to run a winch. I never charged it. I left it back in my truck. Anyhow, make sure the ends aren't touching down there. Let's leave that one off. I made sparks on the last video, so I'm gonna make it a weekly thing. All right, so hot on that one. Let's ground it. We need our other end of our jumper cable, other end of our jumper button connected to that side of hot. You can put it on the battery side too, don't matter. All right, let's go give her some power and see what it does for spinning now. Yeah. It's drawing a lot. Let me grab it and turn it, see if the engine is super tight or if it's the starter setup that's not good. No. So there's that. I don't know if I have another good starter. That's a new starter too. Man, that's weird. Let's go pop the cap off. I wonder if it, because on the front of the cam, there's a lobe. It could be just the play on the front. Go spin it some more. Pick it up. That's what it does. I want to see oil start coming at some of the rockers. Not hot yet. Yeah, starter's getting hot. All right. Because you're putting 12 volts to a 6-volt starter. Hence the steam. Yeah, it's back here on the starter. Okay. Also, the bushing could be crappy in here, and the starters fight you. Let's go see if we had any dribblings of any sort. See if it's picking up oil, you know. I don't see anything. Let's get... Where's the oil pressure switch on this one? Right there. Let's get that oil pressure switch out of it, and we'll crank it. See if we can get any oil coming out of there. See if we're even just kind of developing anything. There we go. Let's go spin that out. Crank it and see if we get any. That's coming right off the oil pump galley. Probably be a good idea to push some crap out too. I see something there. Let's go crank it. And see if there's a little... Oh yeah. Good. So it's pushing oil. Let's put a test light on that oil pressure switch. The switch works off of ground. All right, clean it up. So this switch works off of ground. It'll be grounded when there's no pressure. And then as it builds pressure, it'll open a circuit. So what we can do is put the test light on it. And before we start cranking it, the light should be lit. And then the light should go off if it builds oil pressure. So let's go see what we get. All right, so you got to figure it's going to ground. So we need, on the other end, we need 12 volts. I'm just going to go over to the battery, clip on 12 volts, and anywhere I should touch on this engine, it should really light up, which it does. And then that switch should be lit up. Get on the nipple there. There's a little hole. There we go. Now let me crank it, and hopefully it should build enough pressure to turn that light off, which I think is, it depends on oil pressure, like 5 pounds. It should 5 to 7 pounds. Let's see what we get. There you go. See how long it comes back. She's picking up. And I'll wait and see how long it takes for the oil pressure to bleed out. Make sure our light's still working. Yes, it is. Okay. Old age. Can't see. I think our oil pressure switch decided to stay out. Yeah. All right. Oh, there it goes. Finally. Let's crank it again. I say we get a compression tester. Let's go see what we got for cylinder love. It's picking up. Loosening up. All right. We cook the starter. Let's go get an oil compression tester, and we'll see what we get for numbers. If we can get like 90 or above, it's good. I'm not sure on these. These are much lower compression than the later engines. These are like 6 to 1 or something. All right, number 1 cylinder. We haven't adjusted the valves yet either, too. So let's go see what we get though. It's not cranking fast. It is saying 60 psi. Let's just go write that down for a number. 60. Let's go work our way around. Number 2. Problem 2 is it's not cranking fast enough. That says 60 also. But at least it's reading something. If it was reading 0, then I'd really have a concern that we have a drop valve or something, or a hole in the piston. And number 3. That one's creeping towards 75, which is funny because that's usually the weakest cylinder. Yeah, let's go see what the last one has to offer. So once it says something, because as it runs and everything seats a little bit, I do suspect the numbers are going to come up. And number 4. And that one's about 85 or so on that one. Good. I think that's good enough to try to see if we can get it at a putter. I think we're going to set it up with a bunch of 12 volt stuff because I just don't have a 6 volt battery source that's good. Although that's a new starter, it definitely seems like it's showing its age. I don't know if I have another 6 volt. I'm going to go look. I'm also going to look at the bushing in here, see if the play is wore out in it. You can't put a 12 volt starter on it. You need a 12 volt flywheel to go with a 12 volt starter, and a 12 volt flywheel is not going to fit on the hub that's in the center of it. So that's the quandrum that we're dealing with. But we got something to work with. Let's go throw. I'm going to clean the plugs up, throw them all back in. Let's go just see if it'll spin or if we even crank over with all the plugs in it for the compression. Yeah, plugs are in. Let's go see how slow it spins. Yeah, that might be a little hard to start on that, but we'll worry about that when we get there. Let's go shopping for some parts. So over here is the stuff that we took out of the 58 that was in it. I believe the engine that was in it, I think the engine that was in it was no good, possibly. But let's go steal the coil. I don't know if the cap will fit. It should. Let's go steal the wires. Here's a 40 horse. And the difference you could tell is the generator. As you can see, it's bolted, the generator stand, I should say, is bolted on where it's one piece on a 36 and a 25. That wouldn't even come complete, did it? There we go. And we'll take that coil. It's probably a 12 volt coil that somebody put on it at some point. Could be a 6 volt. Either way, we are going to use it. Come with me. Hot and ground is what I marked on there. Okay, let me go dig this out of there. I think that it had a cap anyway, right? So we're all set if that distributor doesn't fit, the cap doesn't fit. Anything else we want? Probably that last plug wire, huh? Let's go take that. There's nothing but the best of quality. Okay. Yeah, those points are going to need a little cleaning. And drag a file across them a couple times. This should be good. All right, I filed the points, and we should get an on-off signal. So the points just ground out. And again, the test light is still hooked to 12 volts plus on the other side. Let's crank it. It should get an on-off signal. Off. On. Okay. We are working. If you fire the points by hand too, it should do the same thing. There you go. So, points have a good connection. We know they're good. I'm going to continue putting the rest of the stuff on it. As far as timing is concerned, getting into that, this is top dead center where the mark is on this pulley, and take the cap off. Number one cylinder would be right where that notch is, but you can see the rotor is facing over here, which is probably, I don't know, 20 degrees or so out. I'm not sure if this trigger is loose or not. Can we turn that? I can loosen that up. Index those two to line up. You know, that's, you know, hopefully that, again, this is loose, that this is in the correct place. This is keyed to it, but there could be something funky. So we want number one cylinder right there with that rotor lined up right there, with the timing mark right there. And you come over to number one cylinder, both valves should have play in it. What they do, and if you were to take the spark plug out and stick a screwdriver in there, that piston should be in top dead center. We're going to continue on just the way it is. I'm going to line that up and see what we get. And if a problem arises, we'll just move it back to where it was. It is loose. Okay. Let's go see. Okay, this engine was floating around, so I may even just gotten bumped. Okay. All right, so we are at about right where we should be. My guesstimation. Now I'll put all the rest of it back together. Okay, let's see if we can get some spark out of it. Let's go throw a plug on it. We'll set that there. I believe that's a 6 volt coil. We're going to put 12 volts to it. It should work for a little while. They don't like it, I'll tell you that right now. They can and will explode if they overheat. Let's go. Hopefully I catch it on video if it does. Let's go crank it and see if we get anything. So what we got is ground side going to the coil, on-off signal, and then hot side coming on that side. Let's go find our crank button. Where is thou? There it is. Let's go make sure that wire doesn't get eaten by the starter. See if we can crank it and see if anything happens there. I do not see any spark. We got power. And we are arcing. Let's I'll eyeball it again. Nothing right now. Let me go work on that. Try to get us to get a spark. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Let's go see. We don't need the cap. Let's just go see if we can The points are closed. We should be able to take that coil wire, keep it a hair away, and then just fire the points, and it should fire the coil. We'll kind of eliminate the rotor and all that kind of stuff. Okay. You hold it. I don't want to hold it. Are you nuts? Yeah, let's try that right there. Okay, so we need to power the coil again. And then just strike those points and we should see if something flings across. Waiting for me to zap myself, aren't you? Yeah. It's weak, but it's there. Yeah. You hear it, right? All right. Let me add a back condenser. Let me try grabbing another coil. Maybe we get one that I actually at 12 volt setup. The distributor doesn't care. The points and condenser and distributor won't matter whether it's 6 or 12 volt. That will. Let's see where the condenser is on this one. That could also be the problem. We could try another coil. I'm kind of getting spark, but problem is I'm cranking it. It's cranking so slow. Plus, I think it's bringing the overall voltage down. So here's what we got kind of going on. Here's the original 6-volt starter that I just took out, the new one. You can see the size of the gear. So this one's the same size. I'm going to try this one. We'll see. Here's a 12 volt. So you can see the difference. You can see how much smaller this sprocket is than this one. So if you put this one in, it'll never catch that flywheel. All right, well, after an hour's gone by, phoned a friend and got a used starter. Whether that's going to be a functional one, I don't know. But we're going to go find out right about now. I got to order one, but it'll take about 2 days to get here. So let's go see if this one will play. All right, ready? Much more like it. Good. That's what plugs in too, so. I was just hoping to see if we get a little bit of oil out of it, but not sure. Now we know that that is working. Let's go see Chase Spark again and see if we can get her to do anything in that way. Where's our crank button? Still no spark. I'm gonna go work on that. I'm probably gonna change the condenser in there. That's probably what's bad. All right, I changed in a bunch of stuff. I have weak spark, but spark nonetheless. Let's go see if we can go give her a little bit of that and that, and see if it'll kick off for us. Maybe. Coil. And let's see what she does. There you go. It's a weird run. Good. I'm happy with that. Maybe we'll hit it a couple of times. I want to let it run. We'll get the intake manifold on it. We can probably run it on the carb. I want to just run it for a couple of seconds. Good. I wanted to listen to it. I wanted to see if I heard any knocking or anything. I didn't. So I'm fairly happy for that. All right. Let's take a moment to bask in the glory. I think I'm going to call her for tonight. It makes no difference to you because we're going to pick right back up. We left off. We'll work on getting the intake manifold on it with that carb and see if that carb is any good and see if we can get it to run off of that, and we'll start chasing it. I want to run it a little bit, like 4 or 5 minutes kind of thing. Run it, come back, do a compression test. Plus I want to see if we were going to get oil running out of the cylinders. Oh, the rockers. I think that one's doing it. On the other side. Yeah, that one's dripping too. Good. Good, good, good. All right, well, it's been a few days, actually. I got the Corvette left yesterday, and I had to do a bunch of maintenance on my drivers, my trucks. Needed some oil changes. That's all done. Only thing I've done with the motor that you haven't seen was I started playing with starters a little bit. I wanted to see if I could go put a good starter together, and I grabbed the original newish looking one. Started to go take it apart, and that nut right there had a loose nut, and it wasn't pinching down on the pack tight enough, and voltage wasn't going through the solenoid and to the starter to spin it fast enough. Tighten it up, put it back on. It works perfectly fine, so this is a good starter, and which is good because I went to go price them. They're kind of expensive, 158 bucks a piece. I still have those two other duds. I may try making something out of those, maybe a little separate video kind of thing. We are to the point where I'd like to see if we can get the intake manifold back on it with a carburetor and see if we can kind of feed fuel to a carb, get it to run and, you know, stay running, listen to it a little bit better. We're still kind of in the assessment part of things. I still want to make sure that it's good to go, that it doesn't have a rod knock or some kind of weird issues going on with it. I did order a gasket set that should be here, I don't know, maybe in about a week or so. But everything's a different size. Valve cover gaskets to remain seal. Anything and everything is all different sizes. The gaskets for the the intake manifold, they're all different. Anyhow, let's go see if that carburetor is any good. Let's go and bring it over to the bench. Take the screws out of the top. Let's open it up. Take a peek inside. See what condition we're working with. Got in a vice. I went to go grab the throttle, which would be that way, and nothing is moving. Oh, there it goes. This is the choke part of it. Okay. I take it back. Let's go see what kind of goodness is inside it. Chirp, chirp. I been gone for about 13 days, 12 days. Went to my parents' house in Florida for my dad's 90th birthday. My brother and I surprised him. Rolled up on him 7:30 in the morning. Had a great time. For those, my number one fan is my dad. We'll be going out to like a restaurant, and there'll be like a 31-year-old woman waitress. My dad's trying to talk her into watching my channel. I'm like, Dad. So if you guys would wish Papa Joe a happy birthday, happy 90th birthday, we appreciate it. Makes my mother watch. My mother's like kind of like half watches once in a while. My dad's on it. Let's go see. Gasket's trying to come with it. Again, I don't have any parts for this. I don't want to damage anything. I would think the accelerator pump is probably gone. That's a little thing that when you hit the gas, it squirts fuel in. We should be able to get through. Run without that diaphragm functioning. There we go. Definitely got corrosion in it. Yeah, she's crusty. It has shade. Definitely the bowl's filled up with rust. So good thing we tried to clean it out. We're in the process of cleaning it out. Let's go dump that out. I gotta put you back in the stand so you can get some of the jets out of it. Talk about a simple carburetor, huh? We're gonna get out the screwdriver. Nope. Let's go take the accelerator pump. We got an air fuel mix on the base there. Let's go see. Can I get a little bit more space out of this? Hold on, I'll bring you back. Okay, let's get that off of there. Yeah, we drove nonstop all the way through from northern New Jersey to Florida. I think we made it in 17 hours. We left at the right time. We left at my brother's house, I think at 11-ish. We were trying to beat traffic, and we did, because we got to the cities at, like around the capital and all. We got there at like 1 in the morning. Drove right through. We just see him on the way back. Road tripped it. Two guys that just like to drive. Alright, let's go see what this thing looks like. So this is your accelerator pump. This is what gives you a little, you hit the gas, it squirts a little bit of raw fuel down inside it. Yeah, it's not supposed to go like that. This is supposed to be flexible, not. Yeah. I think that's pretty much a dud. So definitely going to need a carb kit. I'm going to get more corrosion that's in it. Okay. We have a air fuel mix on the side we can pop out of it. Carb's not even tight to the manifold. Let's get out of that. And there's going to be a jet in the base of it. There's just like a plug. It's on the other side. All right, one second here. And of course, while we're going, I'm about 500 miles into the trip, and my truck service light comes on to change the oil. You know, it got about 2,500 more miles on it before it did. So there you go. There's one of the jets. Definitely would be clogged. I got one more. So that plug has to come out of it. And there's another jet going in that direction. It has to come out. So I'm going to take all that, kind of go clean her all up. Maybe I'll throw it in the ultrasonic for a little while. And we'll look at something else. We'll probably put the manifold on while that's cleaning. Yeah, I know you wanted to look. Here's that last one that came out of there. This one's, it's all one piece. The later carb, you have a plug and then the screws in there. This jet came out all with it. And a bunch of crap. Just look at how much is in there. It's literally internal. Yeah. Threw that carb in the ultrasonic cleaner and went upstairs in my stash trying to see if I possibly had a carb kit for it. And I do not. This is what the normal, like the later carbs would have. Same idea, but unfortunately, again, it's about 10% larger, so it's not going to fit in the same cavity. Pretty much this is all that ever goes bad on the carburetors. That's all you ever really need. I just buy these because they harden up over time. Probably do the fuel. But one thing I did notice, I went and grabbed, I think it's a PIC 28. What is this one? This is a, yeah, PIC 28. So PIC 28 is like 40 horse. And worst case scenario, get you over here. This carb will bolt up to it and the throttle plate will clear. So we could always run a PIC 28 if this carburetor just totally does not want to play well. And I have a couple of those upstairs that we could probably put one together. Plus the accelerator pump that I just showed you fits in this one. So let's get the intake manifold on. So normally there is a brass O-ring, probably the best way to say it, that goes where each intake manifold, let me get some stuff out of the way, each intake manifold rests on the cylinder head. The old ones are still in it, but there's a possibility we could have an intake leak because of that, but we'll see. I'm talking about, if you can see them right down in here. And this goes like that. Fits down over them. I showed you. You can see the taper that's on them, the roundness. That's what pushes down on those. And they're kind of like a one-time crush thing. I've used them over before, but anyway, we'll be taking it back apart in the future anyhow. There we go. We'll get some hardware. Get it some nuts. We'll bolt that down. And I think soup is ready. Unplug it. And every time I do this, people ask, what do you put in your ultrasonic cleaner? And it's Berryman's Carb Cleaner. That's what's in it. I'll show you the can in a minute. Let's let that kind of... Oh, that's toasty. Let that drip. I'll find you. Here they are. When these come, they're about 3/4 full. And they have a basket in it. They're meant to just be used in the can. You would take your carburetor apart. It comes like a little basket. You put it in, of course, then the level would come up. So that's why they're not full. I want to say it takes 3 of those to fill that ultrasonic cleaner. But again, that stuff has been in there 5 years. So it doesn't really kind of go to waste. What happens over time, all of the sediment will drain to the bottom. I usually will drain the fluid off the top, wipe out the bottom. It's got a valve on it. And then just put the same stuff right back in it again when it's been off for a long time. All right, let me go wash that out, put the parts back together. Well, a little bit of a plot twist. So I was in the process of reselling the carb, and we had that jet that was on the top of it right there. I was in the process of screwing that down, and blink, it just came right off. You're looking at it, you can see it. Let me look at it here. The only place that's shiny was right there, and the rest of it all the way around was dark. It was cracked all the way around there, and as soon as I went to go tighten it down, that last little bit let go, which in a way is kind of a good thing. You say, well, why is that a good thing? Because if that broke off later, this would have went right down the intake manifold, right into the engine, and got smashed between the cylinder head and the piston. So sometimes things work out. Seem like they're bad, but for a reason. So I am going to, I don't have any more of those carbs. Like I said, that Pick 28 just so happened to fit. I'm going to go try to put something of one of those together, clean it, we'll shove it on there and try to run it with that. While I was doing this, I was rearranging cars with the Challenger out. That's got one more video in it, so that should be coming up pretty soon. Just kind of fine-tuning the carb and some other bits and pieces, but for another video. All right, let me see what I got for something to make it run. I threw some gas in this one, haven't done anything. Let's just go see if that accelerator pump works. Kind of want to jump ahead, you know. So, same thing, diaphragm is in this side of it, has a passage that goes up through and should come out of this nozzle. Let's go see if we can get anything. There it goes. All right. So that's that little enrichment. The carb goes to, like, you hit on the gas, it goes lean. So to make up for that leanness, it shoots a little bit of raw fuel in, makes it rich again. You gonna stay? All right, good. I'm not gonna take that apart. So normally this would be a vacuum advance and would hook to here. Of course, the two setups are different. I'm just gonna plug it so there's not a vacuum leak on the carb. It would cause it to have an idle issue. And this is just for revs when you get on. That's above where we're dealing with right now. So both of these have access to the fuel, the float bowl, this horn, and right here. This is kind of like a vent. So we could backfill. Fill that part of it up. Should be good. And a little bit dribbled over. Normally, this would have an electric choke on it. The other one was a mechanical. This one has an electric choke pull-off, which is this. We can run it with our fingers. Let me see if we can find some kind of retaining spring, because that's idle. That's full throttle. Let me see if we get something to just keep that flap shut a little bit. Yeah, we just meatballing it. Will that work? That'll work. Let's go back you up, let's hook some power to it, see what it does. Well, all right. Get a screwdriver in my pocket. tweak a little bit if we need to. And we need power to the coil, which is going to be this wire. And wherever our start button ended up. Okay. Ready? Well, one. It's going to give it a little bit of gas. Do I have the firing order wrong? These two plugs might be backwards. Hold on one sec. That's number one, which is going to number two. Number two is going to number one. Well, there's your problem. It'll run on two anyway. Let's try that again. It happens. Ah. Good. That might be a little too much. That might shoot fire out. Let's back up a little. Uses up the fuel that it's got in it. Again, it's not very much of a reservoir of fuel. Sounds good though. Sounds like it's on all four. Just gonna do it a little bit more. I don't hear any clacking or knocking. So you can let it idle. See how long I'm going to run for. I think it's about done. Awesome. Sounds good. I had hearing protection on, but I didn't hear any clacking or knocking or anything. I think we are good to go. It's a little bit of washing out that you see is again from me dumping raw fuel in it and the plug holes. Nice. It seems decent. Good. Nothing puking out where it shouldn't. No, what do I want to say? Abnormal noises. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah. Let's pull the plugs back out of it again, and I just go kill power on that coil. Let's go and that's live. Let's not make an electrical show like last time. Let's get rid of it. Okay. Let's go pull the plugs out of it and do a compression test one more time and see what we ended up with. If we're all up around 100 pounds, and again, the other part is evenness. We haven't adjusted the valves or nothing either, but let's go see what we get. Cylinder number one. She blew a gasket at 100 pounds. Double check that one. 100 pounds. Was 60. We were also spinning faster too, which, you know, definitely is going to help. Number 2. 100 pounds. And number 3. 95. I think we had 85, 80, something like that. And one more. Both of those are 95. All of them are in acceptable range. Again, these are lower compression engine being this early. And they're all fairly close together, which means it'll run smooth too. Good. I know it's got a bunch of busted studs and everything off. I wasn't going to go deal with any of that because if it had a bad cylinder head, you know, what's the sense of trying to chop into it or something like. But, you know, somebody's been here meatballing it before us. Especially like this one. So broke the stud, broken stud. Then it looks like they tried drilling it. I don't know what that is. Is that another stud that is on an angle that is broken in there? So they really made a mess out of this one. You know what happened here. I try to cure that and get a straight, you know, bolt sitting in there. Then the other side, I think. What else do we got? Let's go check the rest of them. That one looks okay. That one looks like it got oversized. And again, somebody didn't know how to take this apart and they broke all the studs off. You have to chisel the nuts off when they get rusty. They didn't do that, so they did a bunch of damage. It may have been even why they bailed on this. And this one has 2 studs just broken off and they haven't started drilling on them yet. So they're going to take some love to go bring them back. We had another something else broken too, right? Something else was needed to be addressed. I don't remember. Oh yeah, I remember now. It's the bail that goes hold the valve cover on, kind of like an old master cylinder. This clicks on, holds the valve cover. It is busted off inside the head over there and rotted off of there. So that was the last piece that was kind of funky. I don't know how much of that I'm going to go show. I figure, like I said, I ordered the kit for it for all the gaskets and everything. And I have a complete exhaust system that Jason had at his house. 5150 MXVW. If you want to see old Volkswagens getting rescued out of weird, strange, unobtainium places, he's your guy. Anyway, he had hooked me up when I stopped by his house. And I grabbed this from him. This is a correct 36 horse. Exhaust, and it's different. You can't use a regular one because the distances between the cylinder heads and the pipe sizes are different sizes. So we got that. Well, like I said, that was probably going to be for another video of at least kind of going and putting it back together. I may kind of jump ahead and try taking care of some of those broken studs and that kind of thing because that's going to take a while and makes for a slow video. But we'll see. We'll see how this video does. Unfortunately, I have to kind of steer the videos to how well YouTube decides to put them out to you, or how well they are received, I probably should say. And, you know, whether it helps or hurts. Anyhow, for this one, we got it up and running. You want to go see real quick the car that it is supposed to be going in? Well, I don't think you see very much of it, but this is Fruity Pebbles 1958 Beetle that somebody towed behind a Camaro from California to the East Coast, and it sat in some field. Then the field turned into trees. And Brian and I dragged it out a couple of years ago. This was going to get a big engine put in it, but to do that, the transmissions aren't the same and a whole bunch of stuff, so it is going back to its original 36 horse. It's actually not a rusty car. I like stuff that has a funky look to it. This definitely fits the bill. Again, it's called Fruity Pebbles. All right, well, that's for someday. I've been gathering parts for it. That's why all the junk is sitting on the roof, and it's patiently waiting its turn. All right, guys, well, that's pretty much going to wrap her up. I think I got my parts list in play. I do have another one of these 36 horse engines in the little out of crusty is what it was originally in. Of course, needs a whole bunch of love, but it has all the cosmetics that possibly this is missing some of. I don't know what condition that carburetor was in. Again, that was 15 years ago that we folded that engine. And anyhow, between the two of them, we should be able to get a good runner out of it. But for this one, guys, that's about it. I'll see you next week. Not sure on what. Maybe that, maybe not. We also have the weird looking backhoe to finish up too. I want to try to knock out a couple of ones that have like one video left. Now that spring is here. Now that the salt has been washed off all the roads, the toys can come out and play. Bye, guys.